The meeting for the City of East Grand Forks for Tuesday, December 21st is now 5 o'clock. Would the city clerk please call roll?
Mayor Steve Gander.
Here.
Council President Mark Olstead.
Here.
Council Vice President Tim Riepel.
Here.
Council Members Clarence Fetter.
Here.
Dale Helms.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Mark Demers.
Present.
Brian Larson.
Here.
Does term quorum please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
An open forum and opportunity for members of the public to address City Council on items not on the current agenda, items requiring council action. We defer to staff, boards, and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. Does anybody in the council like to address the council at this time? Abdi, do you want to say some words? Can you come up here? Just state your name and your address, please, sir.
Hey, Abdi.
So I want to say hi, everybody, the mayor and the member of the city council. I want to say just we are planning Hanan to come here, but she's on the way. But we have what I wanted to say, the community, they are doing well, but the Brentwood apartments, a lot of people live over there. They don't have, they're not feeling good because when it comes the inspection for their apartment they don't have good inspection over there because the management over there, they are not fixing the apartments when something damaged, and also it's not clean very well, and the window is broke, the snow is coming inside, and also some people, they are worrying about for that, and they are saying we need right away inspection to come and to see, and the city, they have to get their agenda for that. And maybe Hanan, she's coming also to say the more, but what we see over there is what we see over there is not good. People, they need at least to see the city council or the city to stand for that and to look, send the inspection over there to look, and that's what I want to say. If you guys, if you have questions or.
I know I'd like to have Mr. Murphy maybe to explain what the process is going to be, what's going to happen, because Mr. Murphy and Mrs. Ellis have talked to him with you briefly a little bit ago, but.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just start by saying I've been meeting with Abdi and Hanan regularly, probably almost every week for the last few months, just trying to keep the communication going between the Somali and New American community and the city, kind of see where, just make sure that we're kind of understanding each other and what the needs were and stuff. So one of the times here, just actually today, I had met with him out on site out there, and we discussed what we were doing here with the upcoming budget, and one of the things that we were looking at with the rental inspections. So I think what Abdi and Hanan were trying to convey is that they're very supportive of that. They think that would be very beneficial, and they think it would help the situation. So yeah.
Mr. David, if you could call me next time so I can come with you.
Okay.
Since it's in my ward.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Move on to approval of minutes for the November 23rd work session, December 7th council meeting, and December 14th work session.
Move.
Moved by Johnson.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson.
Yes.
Fetter.
Yes.
Helms.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Olstead.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Scheduled bill endings, there's none. Scheduled public hearing, there is none. Move on to the consent agenda. Items under the consent agenda will be adopted with one motion. However, council members may request individual items to be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion and action if they choose. Anyone like 4 through 8 pulled? If not, entertain a motion of 4 through 8, please.
Move.
Moved by Vetter, second by Riepel. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson.
Yes.
Fetter.
Yes.
Helms.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Olstead.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Acknowledge of receipts of reports of officers, boards, and commissions. Regular meeting minutes of the Water, Light, Power, and Building Commission for November 17th and December 1st, 2021. Communication, there is none. We'll move on to old business. Number 10, consider adopting ordinance number 31, fourth series, amending the city code, chapter 96, entitled Streets and Sidewalks by adding section 96.2, right-of-way management, and adopting by reference city code, chapter 1, section 10.99, which among other things contain penalty provisions. Second reading. Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 11, consider adopting resolution number 21-12-95, approving the 2022 budget and authorize specific financial related activities.
Move 11.
By Johnson.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
No.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
Yes.
Motion is carried. And move on to new business. Consider approving the request to start the hiring process for the Public Services Librarian in 2022 after the Civil Service has approved and adopted the grade 16 job description.
Move.
Moved by Dale Helms. Second by Larson. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
No.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
No.
Motion is carried. Number 13, consider adopting resolution 21-12-98, approving the 1.75 cost of living increase for non-union employees. Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 14, consider adopting resolution 21-12-99, approving the employer health insurance contribution for 2022.
Move.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Johnson. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 15, consider approving the ordinance summary for ordinance number 31, fourth series, to be published in the official newspaper in place of the full text of the ordinance.
Move.
Riepel?
Second.
Second by Helms. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
Motion is carried. Move on to claims. Consider authorizing the city administrator clerk treasurer to issue payment of recommended bills and payroll.
Move.
Moved by Better.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson?
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Helms?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Demers?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Mayor Gander.
Just a couple things. First of all, everyone in this room knows, and I'm just saying it, hopefully our friends in the media and our friends watching on YouTube and here and there will pick up on it also. This Tuesday, December the 28th, we're going to have a work session dedicated to taking a look at the big recreation upgrades that we're planning for our city. It'll be the single biggest investment in dollars that we've made in recreation in our city's history. And it's pretty exciting. We'll be deciding between, say, 1.25%, 1.5% on a sales tax item that we'll bring for a local option sales tax to our residents, and hopefully, you know, for the legislature to approve, and also looking for the support of the business community. So we hope everybody tunes into this. It is your money that we spend always as we do the work that we do up here. And it will be another opportunity for everybody to weigh in and let us know how you want us to spend your money. It's, as you probably are all aware, a lot with arenas and baseball diamonds and a lot of the other features that go with that. And not only just trying to put a Band-Aid on our facilities, but really setting ourselves up for the next 20 years, nice recreation facilities. So hope everybody tunes into that and lets their preferences be known. And Merry Christmas. Thanks.
Better.
Thank you. Yeah, in reference to your guys' comments at the beginning of the council meeting, if you ever are having problems with your landlord, I'm sure that there's some sort of a
office at the county that could help you out. If it's Section 8 housing, you can definitely go to the Housing Authority, and they would have more control over the landlords than what we as a city would. So I would encourage you to seek those two options out for sure. Other than that, wishing everyone a happy holiday, and if you're traveling, hope you have safe travels. Thank you.
Nancy, do you want to address his comments, please?
I just thought I would address your comments quick because I did visit with the Abdi. Part of the rental inspection process was typically just fire code. Ron and I are reviewing to make our rental inspections have a little bit more meat to it, maybe look at more of a property management ordinance. There are things in it that would be too restrictive to enforce. There are certain things that we'd like to enforce, so we are kind of going through it with kind of more of a fine-tooth comb to make sure we're getting what we need to. However, based on the descriptions from David and Abdi, there are situations that are kind of even beyond that property management that we probably need to address, not in terms of even a rental inspection, but more in terms of a building code enforcement type of a situation. And so I will be visiting with Jeff and Brad, and we're going to be putting together something in terms of which apartments we should be inspecting and try to get in there towards the beginning of the year to go through and make sure that we're addressing some of those needs, because we, even as a group before, were very limited on what we could ask them to fix, and we gave them a certain amount of time, and then we would go back in, and a majority of them would fix the simple fire code things that we had requested. I think this is more of a unique situation that's beyond what our current rental inspections are. And so we want to make sure that we address that for those tenants in Brentwood Estates and work with that landlord through our city ordinance, whether it be nuisance or building code, those types of things, so that we can get those fixed rather than just a basic rental inspection. And then again, as we progress further, we'll look at maybe a more detailed rental inspection and how we're going to get that enforced in the future.
And Brentwood is under the Section 8 housing, so the Housing Authority would have a lot more where they could put their thumbs on them and get things done quicker than what we could.
And they say they have a hard time getting compliance. Like they don't have any teeth to comply. I think David has.
That's what we're getting from, is that they don't really have an effective method to enforce compliance.
Then I would be talking with our legislators and saying, what do we need to do to the Section 8 housing so that they do have some teeth in there? If they've got broken windows at this time of the year, those should be fixed. I mean, those shouldn't be going on.
No.
And I agree, we don't have the teeth to do anything, but Section 8 housing and the Housing Authority, they should be able to do something.
From a building code standpoint, yeah, broken windows does not fall under that building code. It does fall under nuisance. It would be something that we would probably, either have to get fixed or, continue on through the litigation process. But we want to make sure that we're trying to get in there and address those things sooner rather than later, waiting for us to get through that property management, ordinance.
If I could, I know you have some teeth also with a certificate of occupancy. And so you guys, I'm sure, will have to figure out what does it mean if we go through an inspection process or find some deficiency and we decide to withdraw a certificate of occupancy so you no longer can actually rent out that unit. Now you have some certain steps that you could take coming out of that process as well. And that's for all landlords. Good grief, it's so easy. Even one tenant that's in there for a year can make a place look bad. I mean, it can look bad, like something hadn't been done for a decade, but in fact, it looked great 1 year ago. So the properties can go down in a hurry in some cases with certain tenants in there. And we would want to have the ability to go in, other than just that 4-year interval, to bring those things back to a standard.
And that's something that we would have to address, because right now we're only issuing certificates of occupancies to new buildings.
And I don't know if it's so much, yes, tenants can wreck in an apartment, but I think there are landlords out there also that just let them run amok. And this doesn't go to just apartment buildings. Look at our trailer court. It'd be nice if we could do something to clean that place up too.
And we do want to make sure that we're also addressing the needs of those residents, because we don't want to pull a certificate of occupancy and now they no longer have a place to live because they wanted certain issues addressed, and now they're angry with the city because we've effectively removed them from the place that they're living, where they just wanted it fixed. So again, that's why we're going to try to meet and see how we can come about getting these changes without, you know, like Section 8 housing. I think their one form of enforcement would be to pull the housing assistance. Well, you pull housing assistance, it may not affect the building because they may just try to rent it to someone else who doesn't have housing assistance, but it does affect the person who no longer has a place to live. So we really have to, you know, like you said, we really have to kind of look at it and figure out a way that works best for the tenant and a way the city can enforce it without per se pulling a certificate of occupancy, because that does make me nervous. Because I know there's a lot of people that will not complain or have not told me or have said nothing. They've maybe said it to Abdi and are still nervous because they don't want to lose their place of residency and they don't have a lot of other places to go.
But you're going to have an end game, and that's your end game, but there should be a lot of really cooperative steps to that point.
Yes, so the reason why I'm here is to just let you know that we are going to address it. We're going to meet, we're going to come up with a game plan, and then we're going to move forward with it. And it won't be after we've adopted a new property management ordinance, so.
I think Abby has to say something quick here, just give him.
Do all.
You need
Thank
Mr.
you,
Demers.
thank you, Nancy and
don't go
David
anywhere.
and the President of City Council. My friend, my communities here in Brentwood, a lot of them, they don't speak English well. That's why they don't know their right, you know, and they live over there. And when they don't have choice, they have Section 8, but we are in small city. We don't have more apartments like Grand Forks, and they don't have choice. But if we have more apartments, the people, they can choose which one is better for them, you know. And that's why a lot of them, they are moving other cities like Minneapolis, St. Cloud. And be truth with you, our community, they love to stay Minnesota side because the people who come here 20 years ago, they create a lot of things for Minnesota. And when you see if they don't speak English, they will get the Minnesota. Is the third language is Somali. First is English and Spanish and Somali. That's why when you go to offices, you will get translation and the papers, and that's why they like to stay here, more opportunity, and they love to stay here East Grand Forks, but when they see they are not getting good understanding like these people, what they are doing, the management, and a lot of things also, that's why they are choosing to go other cities. And we are losing every year here in East Grand Forks around 100 families, to 80 to 70 families go in other cities. And we love to be our people to stay here and to advocate and to do better to everybody, East Grand Forks, as long as they can stay here. And that's what I wanted to say. And always I like to come here and to advocate the community and to answer any questions, and to also the today to see what the people they are feeling, and you know, they don't know their right. That's what I can say. And they don't speak English well. And just only the people they are waiting is you to stand for that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, and I wanted to say the Happy Christmas Day, Happy Christmas, and Happy holiday.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to address something the same topic, Nancy? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask kind of if you have a timeline that the council will be seeing this, or
This issue or the rental inspection?
Well,
Ordinance.
I'm just wondering if this is going to be on a work session at some point, or do you
Well, we have to get the information from Abdi first. I'd like to meet with the group that would be involved in the inspections. Do you want to see it before we do the inspections, or do you want to see it afterwards?
Well, I'm wondering what our plan is. I don't know if we have. It sounds like we're talking about an ordinance, or we're talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the rental. That you will
rental
see.
ordinances. We're talking about all kinds of stuff here. I'm just wondering, you know, do we have
What
a
I'm saying
timeline
is we're going to address Brentwood as a separate issue.
Okay.
not really per se to do with the rental inspection part of it, but have to do with building code and nuisance and fire code. So we're gonna address that off the bat. Right now, Ron and I are working on a new rental ordinance with new registrations and setting forth that, and we're also looking at the property management code that the state of Minnesota has adopted to see if that's, which parts of it we want to. That you will see in a draft form when we've put that together. So, and that's our next step.
Are we talking about
Yeah.
like mid-year or the spring, or when do we anticipate seeing those?
Or the rental inspection, you should be able to see that within the next month.
Well, I mean,
The proposal, what we're talking about here, this is the first that I'm now becoming involved.
Me too. I just found out today. So we're
I've
gonna.
not heard any of this until just now, so we'll be able to address this a little bit differently once I have an understanding of what's going on.
And I guess I kind of, for part of the rental inspection is, and we knew that, well, I knew that was coming up, and that facilitated some of the discussion that I had with Abdi, which then brought up that other situation. So it was kind of an offshoot that was discovered when we started talking about the rental inspection.
We're going to deal with that separately. Jeff and I have gone through the rental ordinance already from what we've had before. We've added some of the things that we'd like to see. And then the property management code came into play. We visited with Brad about it because he has done some enforcement with that. There are certain things that cities have not adopted that they've pulled out that deal with private residences, like certain paint colors or painting it so often. There's some very restrictive things that we maybe don't want to get into. So going through that code and figuring what we want to adopt has taken a little bit more time, but we wanted to get the right-of-way ordinance done, and now we're moving on to that, and so that will be done and adopted into you either at the end of January, middle of January, beginning of February, but it's coming, so that we can start the rental process after that, or the rental inspection process. Because what we're doing right now is not as specific as we need to address situations like Brentwood. So that's why we're going to do that as a whole separate thing rather than following the current rental ordinance and look at a new rental ordinance moving forward.
Is there anything in doing the inspections now? Obviously, we want to address the acute situations as they happen, but is there anything in doing that now and then going through a process of redoing your ordinances and redoing your property management stuff, and then still having a problem? Like, does it kind of exempt you from further exemption for a little while, or, you know what I mean? Is there any drawback to doing these kind of more acute things before we actually put the
Well, we need to address the large building code issues and some of those nuisance ones that are life safety, health issues. That doesn't mean that we can't address those specific apartments that we've received the complaints on, much like we would do with any other property complaint. And then we could always go back and address it as a whole with all of Brentwood Estates when we start the process of picking up rental inspections again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else, Mr. Vitter?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Elms.
Nancy, is this property considered commercial or not? Do they consider them commercial when they got big rentals like that, or?
It depends on who you're asking. Like if you're talking about a zoning question, it's not commercial. Certificates of occupancy or different types of inspections, I mean, because they lease, it could be commercial. Is it commercial for fire? No.
But property tax.
A property tax, it's considered commercial. So it's all dependent on which code or what we're looking at.
Well, I guess what I was referring to, that if it's commercial, they come around to all the commercial businesses and they inspect and they give you your faults, and you have so much time to get them fixed up and whatever else. Otherwise, you get fined and whatever else might happen. And I'm just wondering why.
That's only fire code. That's what we were looking at for rentals, was fire code only. There was like 7 or 8 things that we were looking at. It wasn't addressing the things, you know, like a cracked window, those types of things. So that's why, you know, from a rental inspection, I mean, does it have a working fan? Are there fire extinguishers charged? Are there batteries in their smoke detectors? Is there a form of egress? So everything that we were looking at was based on the fire code. But rental inspections need more than just the 7, 8 things. Is there a sticker on the fire panel? You know, because the issues that were explained to me at Brentwood, you know, if we notified them, hey, they didn't have a battery in their smoke detector, I mean, a lot of the rental companies, when they were coming in, they knew exactly what we were looking for. So they would address all those issues, or we would go back and address, you know, if we wrote them up for, you know, 3 or 4 things, it wasn't really addressing the heart of the problem. The carpets were filthy, those types of things, because that wasn't involved in our rental inspection. So that's why we're looking at redoing that, charging more, doing an actual inspection that is more like what housing was doing, that they were saying they weren't really able to get compliance with. So we're looking at a few more things with it. That's what we hope to do. So.
Don't charge more.
We'll have to. Otherwise, we'll have to go back to the 7 or 8 things that we're looking at. So, I mean.
Yes, you'll have to charge more.
Yes, we will. And from a majority of the large apartment buildings, their argument was, if I'm paying $15 a unit, I want every unit inspected. You know, that was always their argument, where we were going in and looking at 1 or 2 per floor. We weren't even looking at, you know, every unit. And so that's why even at Brentwood, if they were, you know, they have to notify the tenant of the ones that we were going to inspect. And so they were obviously picking the ones that were easy to inspect because they didn't have the issues because of laws of notifying people. So that's why we're kind of we needed a better rental ordinance, but we also need maybe more people to, you know, we need a better way of enforcing it other than just building officials fitting it in when they can, you know, so.
Hi everyone, my name is Hanan Bawazir and I work with New American Interrogation Center. So there's like a lot of issues that New Americans are facing here. The one that, can you guys hear me now? So there's like a lot of issues that the New Americans that facing who lives in East Grand Forks. One of the issues that they're facing is with the landlords. So today me and Abdi and David, we went to a couple of apartments to go check. So they said the biggest issue they have is like when they talk to the landlord, that if they have like maintenance problems, if they have bugs at their house, not getting their deposit money back, they will be charged every time there is something's broken at the apartment. If they complain about it, they will be charged more. The fridges is not work. Their fridge was not working. Their stove was not working. Their windows, like couple of the windows that was not like installed correctly. So they said when they go and talk to the landlord, they will tell them, okay, we will send someone. They will keep going back and forth with the landlord. They also said the landlord will be like so rude to them also. And there was like a lot of cockroaches and mice in their apartment. So they said they talked to the landlord multiple times. No one even cared about it. And they said like before they move, they will clean the house. They will make everything clean and then they will not gonna get their deposit money back. So yeah, that's the issues that they have.
If I could just say something, there's some of the stuff that's going to be controllable by our city ordinance. There's a lot of the stuff that's being mentioned right now that are a civil matter. That would be something that you would potentially hire an attorney to go after if they're not resolving the issue. You could withhold rent, you know, with notices. There's a lot of those things that aren't necessarily I hate to say it's city responsibility when it comes to the inspections. We can do some things, but deposits and those types of
Right.
things are issues that you're going to have to deal with on a different level.
Okay.
No, I appreciate you coming in. I know you're going to be earlier or not, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anything else, Mr. Helms?
No, thanks.
Mr. Riepel?
Just Merry Christmas to everyone. Have a good holiday season. Thank you.
Mr. Jeff?
Mr. Dual, and your community, you've done the right thing by coming here. We appreciate it. Well, we can do what we can do. Welcome to America. It's a slow process, but you're getting it. We're here to help. Thank you very much. Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Mr. Demers?
Nothing today, thank you.
Mr. Larson?
Nothing to add what's been said. Thank you very much for coming and sharing these concerns, and we hear what you're saying, and there's a lot of people here who are committed to doing what we can within the city's powers. So, thank you. Happy holidays.
Yeah, thank you for coming in tonight. Appreciate it. Hopefully everybody has a Merry Christmas, and we have a good meeting next Tuesday. The mayor's all fired up and ready to go. So excited. Murphy?
I have nothing for tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Gilston?
Nothing, just happy holidays and have a good evening.
Mr. Emery?
Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.
Anything from the department heads?
Many people are already aware of it, but this Thursday at the high school, I believe the hours are 3 to 6, is the annual Code 4 for Christmas that's put on by the police department and the fire department. The community has been absolutely awesome in their support this year, both financial donations and that are then used to purchase gifts, and then gifts as well. We have tons of things at the police department that will be up at the high school on Thursday, and I want to thank our staff, both the police department and the fire department, for a ton of work that they've put in to make this a success. So, thank you.
I guess I would just will add one thing to that. I have been back there in the police department, and their break room is currently unusable. It's that full. It's the turnout. The donations were very good. It's a good year.
Wonderful. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Moved by Johnson.
Second.
By Larson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Meeting adjourned.